Hey guys, welcome to episode 8 of The Game Plan. So I put up a question on my Snap earlier today, asking you guys what topic you would want me to talk about on this episode here. And a couple people messaged back saying they wanted to talk more about the mental aspect of what I do. What mental challenges come up when I'm competing as a pro at this level, and kind of what's required mentally. And it's a really cool question because it's something that I know it's so important, but a lot of people don't. They don't see that kind of side of what I do. So I'm happy that this question came up. So to answer it, it really doesn't change either. Like I got asked, at this level, like what's the mental state as a pro, but it hasn't changed throughout my entire career, whether I was an amateur, whether I was a pro, it hasn't changed. And one of the biggest things is, it goes back, I suppose, to like childhood and all that kind of thing. I come from a very hard-working family. My parents, we run a family business. My parents have run the company for, over 30 years. And, so it's been instilled in me what the benefits are of hard work. I've seen my parents work, ridiculous hours, building a business, going from having a lot of things, a lot of comforts, with the business running so successfully, and then I saw everything turn around as well. My parents got ripped off by an account that they had at their business, and it almost made them go bankrupt. And we had to sell houses, we had to sell, a lot of the things that, all of these comfort things. So, we know what it's like to have a lot of things, and then we know what it's like to also lose a lot of things as well, and then build back up again. So, my parents built back up bigger, better, more successful, smarter, stronger. So as a kid, being able to see all of these things that my parents did, obviously that's kind of instilled this this quality of hard work in me, and I've kind of carried that through, into my bodybuilding. So that's where, I don't give up, even with all of my training. When I was young, I go to the gym. I've always trained as hard as I train now. I never kind of was slack at training. I had a goal I wrote down when I was really young that I wanted to, compete as a bodybuilder when I started training. I already wrote down that I wanted to win a Mr. Universe title, Mr. World title. So, I was very driven to, to succeed in that sense. So mentally, I've always been very strong like that. But even so, my personality, I suppose, I'm very, very competitive. And I even when I do have issues, or if something doesn't go my way in terms of how I fare at a bodybuilding contest or whatever, I pick myself up real quick. I don't dwell on things. I'm the sort of person to just move on and set another goal and fix past errors or whatever. But that's just the way that I am. But the mental aspect in training, this is a huge thing too. So many guys just cruise into the gym, no warm-ups, no mental kind of warm-ups either. They just get under like a really heavy dumbbells and they just do a few reps, move it up and down, yell and scream or whatever, and then just throw the dumbbells, drop them, and they think that is a set. Bodybuilding is so, it sounds, you guys hear it all before, this whole mind-muscle connection and thing. But it's taken me almost I would say it's taken me probably almost 10 years to be able to actually understand what that means and actually utilize it and be able to keep progressing in my physique by, utilizing that mind-muscle connection. It is so important. When I'm warming up in the gym, when I'm stretching, when I go through my little circuit with the dumbbells and I'm warming up all of the muscles that I'm going to be using even if I'm doing like a bench press as first exercise, I'll still spend 10 to 15 minutes warming up, my whole shoulder, my triceps, whatever. And while I'm doing that, I'm already thinking about, okay, I'm training chest today. I'm thinking about how it's going to feel. I'm thinking about controlling on the way down, squeezing and flexing on the way up. I'm not thinking about how heavy am I going to go today, how much weight am I going to move. I'm thinking about how great of a connection am I going to get with that muscle that I'm working. So once I'm warmed up, I stretch a little bit. And then once I start training, I start on a lighter weight and I work my way up. And every rep, it's squeezing and flexing the muscle. It's not just moving it. like I said, that little bit of advice sounds so insignificant, but it's taken me like 10 years to actually not think about the weight so much and just think about whatever weight that I've got, contracting the muscle. You know, we're bodybuilding. Yes, it's about weight, but at the same time, we want to be stretching, contracting that muscle, using as many of the muscle fibers as possible. So that's when, you know, a lot of people don't see what goes into, you know, what I do. If you just watch me doing a set of leg extensions or squats, you know, I can't explain the mindset in there and how far I'm pushing myself past failure as well. And I'm flexing on every rep. There's a big difference between doing, you know, 30 sets just up, down, getting a good pump, yeah, but there's a big difference between that and committing yourself to like 12 of the hardest reps of your life. You know, stretching, squeezing at the top, your quads, flexing them as hard as you possibly can. Come back down slow, squeeze them again. You know, those reps are absolutely brutal because you're not using any momentum. You're just using the muscle that you're working. And this is when this mental toughness comes in. A lot of guys can't do that. It sounds so easy, but being able to have my personal training studio here, when I was PTing guys every day, I saw it every day. You know, just those fundamental things, as in you know, training hard, people do not do. And you can't teach that to a lot of guys. It comes from here. It comes from heart and hard work. And a lot of guys just don't have the heart to push themselves through all the force reps. Yeah, they think that they're training hard, but you know, I've trained with a lot of top bodybuilders, coaches, my coach Neil Hill, and a lot of other pro bodybuilders, whether it's Flex Lewis, Lee Priest, along the years, and then I've seen what it takes. They've taken me through leg workouts, chest workouts, all of the body pretty much, and you know, you get this whole new appreciation for what hard training is, and you kind of, you know, I know that I kind of reset, and I'm like, you know, I watch these guys on YouTube and I see their videos. I just thought they were training, but you know, once I actually train with them and see how much focus and effort they put on that muscle group that they're training, how strong their mindset is, and how far they're willing to go past failure. It's ridiculous. I can't tell you guys how crazy it is. And there's like nobody does that in gyms. And you can't really teach it. You know, I've always been the kind of guy that I'll push myself. I always push myself, but I never had that kind of mind-muscle connection where I was flexing it, you know, every single rep. So now that I'm doing that, you know, the muscle just looks different. I'm not just as big as what I was before, I would say. Like, I used to just, you know, push out the weights, and yes, I was getting bigger when I was training with momentum, but the muscle, my body composition wasn't changing, in a sense that the muscle shape wasn't changing that much. But now, actually flexing and squeezing, the muscle shape is changing. The striations are getting deeper. It's making a huge difference. And with what I do with bodybuilding, with competing, it doesn't matter, you know, that you can have all the bulk in the world, but if you haven't refined it, and if you haven't developed the shape to the muscle, and you've just always just lifted heavy, deadlifted, squatted, you know, it's no good. You know, it's not good for what I'm trying to do as a bodybuilder. So I know myself personally, I'm not going to play the size game. I haven't got these massive, broad, wide shoulders. I'm a little guy. I'm not broad at all. So I need to refine what I've got. By me deadlifting 300 kilos, squatting 200 kilos, doing all these things, I've got a short torso. I'm going to thicken my waist by doing that, and I'm going to look shit. And every centimeter that my waist grows because I have a short torso, you know, my upper body has to get twice the size because it just throws out all of the proportions. So, you know, some people can get away with deadlifting and squatting, but I know that I can't. If I go heavy on deadlifts all the time and squats, my waist, it just grows. And it throws off all of my proportions. It makes me look as if my arms aren't big, my back's not big, my chest's not big. Even like the sweep on my legs and things. The size of your waist affects that whole overall illusion of, you know, of being a bodybuilder. I know I've kind of gone a little bit off track here. I was talking about mental state and all that kind of thing, but you know, it is very, very important. You know, these things that I'm doing with that I've changed with my training as well. So there you go. This has been like mental aspects / Jake's training philosophies as well. But that's really all I wanted to speak to you guys about today. That was like the biggest thing that kind of annoys me is that people think that what I do is just moving weight, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I focus on everything that I do, every movement that I do, and that's the reason why I don't have to do 8 sets of each exercise. I might do 3. Just because it is so controlled. The way down's controlled, the ways up controlled, flexing at the top. I'm getting everything out of my reps. Unlike, guys shoulder pressing 50, 60 kilos and it's just like little reps, like that. What the are you trying to achieve with that? I understand if you're doing it to, just to show off to your mates, but, if you're trying to actually change your body composition, you need to train smart and you need to train like a bodybuilder. So yes, there you go. There's not really a whole lot more that I wanted to add. The whole mental aspect thing with me competing, going overseas, preparing all of my food. It's very, very tough. I suppose you could say it's tough, but I'm conditioned to it now and I enjoy the challenge. I don't think that it's hard work. I wouldn't even call it work. I love doing what I'm doing. I love the challenge of having to be so dedicated, so strict, so regimented with everything that I do, but it's something that I love. I love to be so hard on myself. Some days in the gym when I'm on low carbs, I'm dying, but I still enjoy it. Like I still love it. I'll be on limited carbs, training legs, limited carbs, doing my cardio. Most of the time, doing like 2 45-minute cardio sessions a day. Plus, I'm doing my weight training, and then I have to fly to the other side of the world with all of my food, preparing everything. It sounds like hard work to some people, but I absolutely love what I do. So, so I wouldn't say that this is something people say. Oh, how do you do it? It's easy for me to say it's because I love what I do. And if you don't love it, then obviously you're not cut out for it. It's just the way that it is. A lot of people trying to be bodybuilders, but they can't handle all the mental games that go into it. Yes, you do get smaller as you diet into a show, but when your body composition changes, you look better as you go. But people, they don't see that. They play mental games with them. A lot of guys struggle, the last 8 weeks or whatever, getting ready for a bodybuilding contest because they think that they're getting small, and it does their head in. But you're not getting small. All you're doing is just get rid of the body fat, really. So yes, well, this episode's been a little bit all over the place, hasn't it? But all right, I think that is all. So don't forget to subscribe to these videos, guys. Stay up to date with everything that I'm doing. I'm like 15 weeks out now from the Nava Pro Universe in England. So things are going to start changing. I'm still only doing the half-an-hour cardio every second day. I'm going to speak to Neil tonight actually and see if I can change that to every day, just because I enjoy going for my walks. Foods stayed the same. Training stayed the same. I'll definitely let you guys know when I check in with my coach and see what Neil changes and what Wes changes. We're all working together. It's like 3 of us in the team now. So yeah, guys, I will see you in the next episode.